You know what it's like, don't you? You've been there. The situation may be different, but it usually results in the same thing. You try to improve, but it seems impossible. Something just gets in your way. Perhaps it's low self-esteem, a poor self-image, or perhaps you're struggling with anxiety, depression, or lack of motivation. If you do, then you're in the right place. From the outside, you might look okay, but from the inside, you just don't feel like yourself, do you? Perhaps you self-medicate to feel normal. Maybe you just can't quit your daily energy drink because the stress and the pressures of the day are just too much to handle without it. Or maybe alcohol or smoking is your culprit. But it isn't so much the addiction you desire, is it? It's really what it does for you. It relieves your anxiety and stress. It boosts your confidence. Comfort, relaxation, and happiness is what you're really after, isn't it? Listen, I've got a question for you. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to overcome the anxieties, fears, and depression in your life? Do you ever wonder what it would be like to live without it? So how do you get from where you are now to there? And why has it not happened to you yet? This isn't the first time you thought about it, is it? When you watch this video to the end, I'll show you something that very few know about but can be life-changing. You see, most people just focus on beating the addiction instead of addressing the pain that resides below it. It's a social crutch. Without it, they feel inadequate, fearful, and anxious. You see, your addiction will not go away unless your need for it goes away. So what do you do? What do you do to address this problem? You eliminate the anxiety, the unhappiness, the poor self-esteem, the lack of confidence, and you'll succeed. This is where addiction becomes unnecessary, where there's no need to self-medicate. But where do you start? It starts with you. Listen, you may have heard that meditation is beneficial, that it can improve almost any area of life. And there's no doubt about that. Numerous studies confirm and reconfirm how powerful meditation can be on anxiety and depression and nearly any other emotional and psychological problem. It changes the brain, and as a result, it changes you. But the problem is that effective meditation takes practice. It takes time to get the full benefits everybody's talking about. So how can you get quicker results? There is a way, a shortcut, a way to bring your mind to a desired state that expert meditators have spent years perfecting. There's a reason meditators are the healthiest and happiest people. The reason is this: meditation activates a relaxation response in the body and changes the brain. You see, when stress or anxiety overwhelms the body's nervous system, it begins flooding it with chemicals that activate a fight or flight response. This fight or flight response is good if it is valid, where you need it to act quickly. But when you aren't being chased by a bear or in any other emergency situation and you are constantly experiencing anxiety and stress, in this heightened state of fight or flight, it wears you down. It's very taxing on you emotionally, physically, and psychologically. But the relaxation response counteracts this stress response. The stress response produces chemicals that put you into a panic state, and the relaxation response in your body delivers chemicals that put your body into a relaxed state. The relaxation response is shown to slow down your heart rate. Breathing becomes slower and deeper. Blood to the brain increases. Blood pressure stabilizes. Your muscles relax. This relaxation response also improves focus, fights illness, relieves pain and aches, improves energy and cognitive ability. But this relaxation response isn't activated passively by lying on the couch, watching TV, or reading. It's activated by mindful meditation. You see, many of us live mindlessly, functioning through life like automatic pilots. But what meditation does is help us to live mindfully. It helps us to focus on the present instead of worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. The human mind has been referred to as the monkey mind, where there are endless chattering and our thoughts are jumping around, similar to a room full of monkeys. But mindful meditation tames these thoughts and we learn to manage them. This practice changes the brain so it happens less and less. With each session of meditation, you become more and more aware of how these thoughts behave, and you become their master. They start to become submissive and peaceful. You see, the brain has billions of brain cells and send electricity to each other. This electricity in combination creates a brainwave pattern. Brainwaves have been extensively studied using equipment such as the EEG, otherwise known as electroencephalography. Together, the combination of millions of neurons firing produces electrical activity in the brain that is measurable. It picks up these electrical signals. This energy and electrical activity that the brain produces has been called a brainwave pattern because when examined, it has wave-like properties. It appears as a wave. In 1929, the first known documented brainwave findings were published in the European Archives of Psychology and Clinical Neuroscience. When brainwaves were discovered, it was also discovered that the electrical activity of the brain will change depending on what a person is doing. A sleeping person has a very different brainwave compared to one who is awake. Similarly, someone experiencing anxiety has a very different brainwave than one who is relaxed. So, is there a way to change an anxious person's brainwave pattern to reflect one that is relaxed? You can, using a method called entrainment. Entrainment refers to the brain's natural ability to synchronize its brainwave frequency with stimuli, such as noise, by presenting as sound to the ears. It will emit an electrical response. This response is called cortical evoked response. Any stimuli that is picked up by the senses results in a cortical evoked response and produces an electrical response in the brain. This becomes what you see or hear. This type of response from external stimuli can be measured using electrodes on the scalp. A clap, for example, by a person's ear will produce a response in the brainwave activity of the person's brain. And if the claps become consistent, it can actually resemble some of the natural rhythms of the brainwaves. When this happens, the brain will respond by synchronizing its own electric cycles to match the rhythm. This is called frequency following response. What we present to our ears in a rhythmic pattern, our brains pick up and synchronize. For example, the brainwave meditators produce is an alpha brainwave, typically between 8 Hz to 12 Hz. In this brainwave frequency, they feel relaxed and calm. In 2000, a study was conducted at a Dutch addiction center to understand the effects of alpha brainwave stimulation on anxiety and stress. The test subjects in this experiment were given just one session of 5 minutes of 30 Hz, followed by 35 minutes of 10 Hz. To gauge the effectiveness of alpha brainwave stimulation, the popular Spielberger's State Trait Anxiety Inventory test was administered prior to and following this intervention. Those who received the treatment of the single brainwave stimulation session showed an immediate decrease in anxiety, and it resulted in lower stress in participants every time following. Another study in 2005 and published in the American Journal of Drug and Alcohol Abuse, Scott et al., examined 121 patients that were in an inpatient substance abuse program. They were given brainwave audio training, which helped them to reach an advanced state of consciousness using alpha and theta waves. And after 1 year, incredibly, 77% were drug-free. According to Peniston and Kolkowski, brainwave entrainment used on recovering addicts yielded an 80% success rate and actually helped them to become psychologically healthier. In 1996, Dr. Graham J. Patrick conducted research and found that after only 15 sessions of brainwave entrainment, participants showed a significant increase in attention. Their scores on the WISC-3 Freedom from Distractibility scales went up 81%. This is phenomenal. So, this is what you get with the Mindful Transformation Program. Module 1 shows you how to use brainwave entrainment audio and then provides you with carefully crafted audio sessions for relaxation, addiction, anxiety, mood, focus and concentration, well-being, and sleep. You'll receive over 30 audio tracks. Then, the following modules combine professionally crafted affirmations, visualizations, and meditations for quicker results. Module 2 shows you how to identify and replace negative thoughts. The National Science Foundation published research on how many thoughts we have a day. It ranges from 12,000 to 60,000. What they found was that 80% of those are negative. This makes an enormous impact on our physical and emotional health. Module 3 shows you how to properly visualize yourself succeeding. Visualizing consciously implants images into your mind. Think of professionals that are experts in their field. They constantly visualize their performance. Surgeons see themselves in their mind successfully completing surgery. Athletes actively visualize themselves winning and hearing the crowd root for them. It becomes real to them before they actually do it. Visualization is so important to change that if you visualize and see yourself succeeding long enough for a mental picture to form, it creates an emotional response. The conscious mind can't distinguish between you imagining and actually experiencing it. This is how powerful it becomes. Module 4 provides you with professionally crafted meditations to guide you through the process. When you start exercising your mind, you may see dramatic improvements in your happiness and mood in just a few short weeks. You may notice even little things, such as unwanted thoughts start diminishing. Sure, you'll become more calm and relaxed, but you may also notice other areas of your life improving. A total value of all the training you get in this program would be $1,230. If this really transformed you, would it really be worth it? But you're not going to pay $1,200, or even close to that. You can get this Mindful Transformation Program at $127. This product takes all the risk for you by giving you a 60-day guarantee. But I recommend acting now, because this price is subject to change. What would life be like when you no longer have anxiety or stress bogging you down? Just click on the order button below to begin. After completed payment, you will be taken to the members area where you can watch, download, and listen to all the modules, even if it's 3 a.m. in the morning. Just click the button below to get started.